Happy Saturday. It's been a while since I made a video that wasn't a VR or a Yabo, so I thought I would do that. I don't really have anything to talk about, but what's new? A lot of people in Nashville this weekend. I've seen a bunch of pictures, a few videos. Looks like they're having a real good time. Wish I could be there, but 2,500 miles is a little far to drive on such short notice. Kind of a long way to drive even if you know about it a year in advance, but trust me, I've done it before. I drove from Huntsville, Alabama to San Jose, California in a Ryder truck. Actually, I drove from Huntsville to El Paso, Texas. That was the first leg. That took 29 hours. Stopping for gas and food. I didn't sleep. Then we stopped, slept for the night, and started out the next morning. Drove 21 more hours from El Paso to San Jose. Then I think I slept for about a week after that. That was a haul, man, in that truck. But I had a goal. I stuck to it. I got there. That's the way you do things. I was sitting out in my backyard yesterday. You might think this is weird. Smoking a bowl for however long that took, probably 30, 40 minutes. I watched a colony of ants go back and forth over their little trail. Some of them carrying food, some of them empty-handed on the way back. Nothing stops them. They had to crawl over a leaf or a twig, around something, whatever. They stuck to their little trail like they do, one after another, over and over again. And they got the job done. I used to work at a place. One of my many jobs there was pest control. Ants were part of the problem. I spent a little time taking care of that, but I've seen ant trails that stretched hundreds and hundreds of feet, probably 400 or 500 feet. Probably millions of ants in that trail. I didn't count them, but it always amazed me. They don't have a choice. It's in their genes, their DNA. That's what they do. They go get food, they bring it back, they build their colony, they survive. That's their only ticket in life, is survival. And they do whatever they have to do in order to ensure that. Somebody like me comes along with a big can of bug spray and ruins the party. I always found that interesting, how they could, that's their entire life, is just going, just working constantly. I don't know if they sleep or not, I doubt it. Same thing with honeybees, fascinated by honeybees. They each have their job. There's 3 different kinds of them basically. The queen, the drone, and the worker. They each have their job, and that's all they do. That's their life. little different. We're wired a little differently. We have choices. We have desires. Things we want, things we need. Things we want, we generally have to work for. It's not too often that things like that just fall in your lap. You set your goals, figure out a plan. If you want to get what it is that you've set your goal for, you have to work for it. Sometimes that takes an hour, sometimes it takes 20 years, a lifetime. But in order to get that, you have to persevere. You can't go halfway and expect the other half to come to you. We each have lots of examples of that in our own lives. I recently attended an Honor Scout, not an Honor Scout, an Eagle Scout presentation. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, this young man was 17. He had been in the Scouts since he was 9. And he made Eagle Scout. It's a huge journey, a huge accomplishment. Everything that was said by his various scout masters and peers of his, parents, mentors, every one of them had one basic theme, and that was perseverance. I mean, he put in the hours, he put in the time, he learned the skills, he won the badges, or earned the badges. He didn't win anything. And he stuck with it, and he got what he wanted. You know, that's a big accomplishment, especially for a young person. And I don't mean a 17-year-old. I mean, he started that journey when he was 9. To have that kind of goal and vision, and to stick with it, that's quite an accomplishment. Both of his parents are Marines. That probably had a little to do with his what makes him who he is. I'm sure it does. I know both of them very well. I forgot to mention, I'm smoking my Country Gentleman. I'm smoking a blend called Cream Caramel from Mission Pipe Shop in San Jose. It's pretty good stuff. It's similar to Trout Stream. Anyway, I think of perseverance a lot when I'm thinking of my kids. I teach my kids, not just stuff. I mean, I'm their teacher. We homeschool. It's very windy out here today. Often my kids, my youngest one especially, he has challenges when it comes to schoolwork, learning. He gets rather fed up rather quickly and wants to do something else. And I'm constantly telling him, you can do whatever you want as long as you put in the work. I stick with it right there beside him, and we get through it. Some days are better than others, but he knows that he has to complete the work in order to play his video games or go outside or whatever. He begrudgingly does that some days, and some days he goes right through it and never stops. That's the nature of his challenge. My other son, probably will end up being an honor roll type student. And when he sets his mind to it, he rolls through it with seemingly no effort. He just does it. And that didn't just come to him. I mean, he had to learn that, but he perseveres. He does. He enjoys playing Minecraft quite a bit, and he's put together several little worlds. You know, you build things. If you don't know about Minecraft, it's building, adventuring kind of game. But he's put together some incredibly complex worlds with some incredibly complex structures that are, architecturally speaking, like perfectly built. I mean, it amazes me some of the stuff he can do on that game. Occasionally he opens those worlds up to online friends, and sometimes people come in and are not so nice, tear something up or something like that. You know, it upsets him, and he goes back and rebuilds it. You know, I hate that there's things like that happen, but it's a good lesson for him. I mean, he has several online friends that are really friends. They would help him rebuild it if he asked, that kind of thing. And he's got some people that wander in that are just, you know, turds. That's going to happen. That's life. We all have a few of those. I let it go out. The wind's probably not going to let me relight it. Got to get me a Zippo. But anyway, all that just kind of reminded me of perseverance, whether it be driving across country or playing a video game or doing homework or whatever. Figure out what you want, and then you go to work and you get it, hopefully. If you don't, hopefully you learn a lesson, figure out how to do it differently the next time. I decided in maybe March of this year, April, I don't remember exactly, I decided to grow my beard out and just let it grow, stop shaving, see where it went. I'm on a few different groups on Facebook, beard groups and stuff like that. Inevitably, every 2 or 3 days, somebody will come in there and say, you know, how do I make my beard grow faster? How do I get it longer? How do I get it to look like this? How do, you know, every time that question's asked, the answer's the same. Stop shaving. Don't trim it. Let it grow. Time, patience, perseverance. It's a lot of people think growing a big beard or people with beards are lazy or something like that, and some of us are. But, it takes a lot of patience because you want to, if it doesn't look like you want it to look, you want to trim it up and snip it up and all this stuff. Every time you do, it sets you back weeks or months. And then you'll hear these guys all gung-ho. I'm going to grow it, I'm going to do this. I've got 25 different kinds of beard oil, special combs, I do all this stuff. Then they'll come on a week later, post a picture of themselves with stubble. It wasn't the way I wanted it to be. I shaved it off. Start over. they'll go through that process. Some of them probably in it indefinitely. It's interesting. Having a beard is very interesting to me because you get all kinds of comments, you get all kinds of negative comments and negative feedback from people you know and love and from people you've never met in your life. And it just amazes me. You go around complaining about other people's hair or their shoes that they wear or whatever choices they make. It seems to be a unique problem. And then you'll get a few people, usually other people with beards. So there's kind of a unspoken community of people, strangers on the street, whatever. Just kind of give a nod when you see another beard. It's pretty funny. Anyway, that's just another thing that I'm persevering with, trying to achieve something that I've never achieved before. My plan is to let it grow a year without touching it. I may, probably not, but I may trim up a few flyers at that point. I'll probably just let it keep growing. I might put a picture of my brother at the end of this video, or right here. I can figure out. You can see his has been growing about 2 years, I think, in the photo that I have. Anyway, figure out what you want in life, make a plan, persevere. It's worth it. There's no other way to get what you want. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me try to say that properly. Hope the rest of your weekend is enjoyable. And keep it smoking. Enjoy yourself.